All right, everyone. I hereby convene the August 23rd meeting of the Albany County Legislature Public Works Committee. My name is Nathan Bruschi. I serve as chair. Would the council please call the roll?
Sure, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Bruschi,
Here.
O'Brien,
Present.
Bergdorf,
Here.
Cleary.
Here.
Fine,
Here.
Tunney,
Here.
Peter,
Here.
Reinhardt,
Here.
and Smith.
Here.
All present, Mr. Chairman.
Outstanding. Our first item is to approve the previous meeting's minutes.
Motion, Mr. Chair.
By Mr. Peter, seconded by Mr. O'Brien. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. And that carries. Our first item under current business, item number 2, Commissioner Latina authorizing an agreement with the Department of General Services and CNS Engineers, Inc. regarding the space planning consulting services for various county office departments.
Good evening, Chairman. We issued an RFP for space planning to look into our facilities as far as square footage goes and what we have as far as furniture to really restack our offices for more efficiency and cost savings. CNS was the lowest responsive bidder. This is a 2-phase project. Phase 1 is $121,750 for the survey and data collection portion of it. And if we decide to go forward with it for the relocation planning of it, will be an extra $295,500 for a total of the contract of $417,250.
Outstanding. This is a 3-year term until 2025. Any questions to the members?
Make a motion to move it.
By Mr.
Second.
O'Brien, by Mr. Cleary. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. All right, thank you, Commissioner.
Thank
Next
you,
item is
sir.
authorizing a supplemental agreement with MJ Engineering and Land Surveying for design and construction inspection services for the Waterville Shaker Road roadway improvement project phase 3.
Sorry about that, I'm unmuted now. Yes, this is for supplemental work, MJ Engineering. They're providing additional field survey and stakeout. They are preparing the tree clearing design contract plans and additional cost estimating for a portion of the work along Waterville Shaker Road. The project, when it was initially conceived, did not anticipate as much utility relocation work and tree clearing as it's needed. And so MJ is asking for additional design costs and construction inspection costs for that portion of the work. In addition, there's additional construction inspection needed to actually construct the main project that is going to be constructed next spring. The original contract was for 14 weeks of construction inspection, and we need additional construction inspection hours because it's going to take much longer for the project to be constructed.
This is 100% county funded, is that right?
This is 100% county funded.
All right, Mr. Bergdorf.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Lisa, do you anticipate that this change for MJ, and obviously, as you know, I've followed this project for 4 years, so I'm certainly supportive. Will this take us through the end of construction, and we hopefully will not see the need for any additional engineering services?
There should, yeah, I mean, that's a really good question. And yes, it should take us to the end. There's, they added additional construction inspection that is likely more than what is going to be needed, but because we don't want to go back and ask for more money, the additional 14 weeks is generous. So yes, there's no more design. The design is actually complete. We're in the final review process now. So we're ready to put it out to bid pretty much. So the design is done. The tree clearing project is going to be starting in the next couple of weeks. And the additional construction inspection for both the tree clearing and the additional construction work over the summer is included in here.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Any other questions to the members? Mr. Peter?
Mr. Chairman, it seems reasonable. And I know MJ Engineering is usually pretty diligent with this stuff. So if there's no other questions from the members, I'd be happy to move this forward.
Motion by Mr. Peter, second by Mr.
Second.
Bergdorf. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. All right, that carries. Your next item, Commissioner, Mr. Pierce died there, is determining the, here is authorizing an agreement with Tracy Road Equipment Inc. for purchase of 5 Western Star tandem pickup trucks.
Yes, so this is part of our capital plan. We would like to purchase 5 Western Star 47X tandems. This is the same purchase we made last year. The cost of the trucks this year is $30,000 more than the cost last year. That's just like a tidbit of information, and it's the exact same truck. But this is 100% county funded, and we anticipate it to take 18 months to receive delivery of the trucks.
And are we so when we are replacing, we're also scrapping or selling the other 5, or how does that work?
So what we're doing, it completely depends. It depends on the condition of the trucks. Some we actually save and use for parts. Some we scrap. So, and sometimes, we'll keep one, like we won't necessarily 100% replace it. We'll keep one and have it so that in an emergency, if we have, we have a truck that we can go to, but it's not like the best truck. So generally we're either replacing or saving the old ones for scrap pieces.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Bergdorf.
Lisa, just point of information. How many of these tandem dump trucks do we have in our fleet?
We're expecting last year's order of 5 this December. So that will be 5, but I would have to check with my deputy, Scott Duncan. We've been ordering the Western Stars for at least 3 years now. So I don't have the number in front of me, but I will check and I'll get back to you on that.
Well, I mean, I was just sort of curious. I mean, is this something we expect to see? Like you've got a fleet of dump trucks and we're going to be rotating some out of service and some into service every year?
Yeah, since my tenure, there was a big lag in ordering new trucks. We have a lot of like 2015 trucks that were part of an international fleet that actually were not very good trucks. So we're not only replacing like very old trucks, like 2008 trucks, we're also replacing some 2015 trucks that are not in the greatest, we're not outright replacing 2015s, but we are anticipating having problems with those trucks because of their history. So it is, it's an ongoing rotation. In the capital plan, you'll notice that I decreased the amount I'm asking for in some out years because in the last like 4 years since I've been here, we're doing a good job with replacing. So I'm not anticipating needing to replace as many in the like next 3 years.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. First, are there any other questions? I see Mr. Grimm has his hand up. Mr. Grimm?
All right, thank you, Chairman. Yes, these are combustion engines?
Can other people hear
Lisa?
Mr. Grimm? I can't hear Mr. Grimm.
I heard him.
They are.
These are, there's no electric vehicles that are available for this type of truck?
No, these are heavy duty plow trucks. There's not, no, there are not.
So is there anything in planning in the works for developing electric vehicles like this, or they just can't do it?
At this point, so there's a company is working there. The county has a company that's working with us to do studies on replacing fleet. And at this point, there are no heavy duty trucks out there. So we're replacing our smaller trucks, such as like, some of our foreman's trucks could be changed out to electric trucks at some point. Some of our engineering tech trucks can be, changed out. But when we're doing plowing in the hill towns, there's no technology out there at this time that we could be investing in. And the fact is we need trucks like now because our old trucks are really in rough shape.
Right, so just a technology issue, because I'm sure there's a big market for this, but you just don't have the availability.
Well, the interesting thing is like, I'm just like curious, if the technology was there, we would be wanting it. And I mean, it would probably be very costly, but we would hope to, have grants and be able to get it. That's the one thing I'm curious about is there is such a big push for electric. But again, nobody has invented the technology to push heavy loads at this point. So it is, it's a little concerning because it's like, you hate to make an investment in all these new trucks, knowing that they're, diesel engines and that, because we're kind of moving away from that, but we don't really have any alternative at this point.
Lisa, who's the consultant you're talking to?
Oh, is Luke Rogers on here? He knows the name of the consultant.
Because I know that Lion Electric has shown some interest in developing manufacturing in this area. They were looking at Green Island at one point, and they do heavy duty trucks. Now they may not do dump trucks. They do school buses, 18 wheelers of various kinds and things like that. And they're very innovative. They're from, I think they're in the Toronto area. They're from Canada, but they are looking to spread into the US. And I know that they're one company that has talked about it. I think actually I've done this. I've Googled heavy duty electric trucks and there are some other companies, but they may not be doing the dump trucks specifically for plowing. But let's make sure we're looking at all the opportunities.
Commissioner, I think the issue now is the range. I don't think the technology may be there, but you're talking, these trucks are going to go out in a heavy snowstorm and they're going to be out for several hours. And I don't know if the range is there.
Well,
on a truck. You'd have too much downtime recharging.
well, there's that. Plus, you almost like need to double the fleet too, because you need all of the infrastructure to charge. So like say it was there. It's not just about getting the truck. It's about getting the infrastructure to charge the trucks. And then
Exactly.
have the extra, like during the winter time, we're on, potentially 24-hour shifts. So
Exactly.
where are we gonna, how can we charge our trucks and work a 24-hour shift? You know what I mean? There's just practically, we're not there yet. Even if
Exactly.
technology was there, we could get, one or two, but could we replace our whole fleet and practically take care of plowing the hill towns?
No.
Yeah, but it is a challenge. Baby steps. And I believe Energetics is the name of the company who's doing a study for the
Okay.
county with regard to changing out the fleet. And they're, working with the departments, with us and DGS to we're hand picking certain vehicles that we're going to be trading out for electric vehicles.
Mhm.
But for now, our plow trucks are going to be the big plow trucks, the diesel.
Lisa, I'm going to ask you to look in the chat because I sent you a message concerning the ARPA meeting earlier.
Oh, sure, will do.
Thank you, Mr. Reinhardt. I see, does Mr. Rowley want to answer a question on this topic, or is this a new topic?
No, this would be for this. I was going to do a little clarification. I don't know who the consultant is offhand, but to Mr. Reinhardt's point, Lion Electric, I've sat in 2 meetings with them already. They're definitely one of the ones that we have looked to see, when we're able to make that transition to electric vehicles. But to Mr. Tunney's point, it's both the range as well as there's almost like a multiplier to the draining effect when you're pushing the snowplow. It's not just the weight of the truck. It's that the force of the plowing actually greatly reduces the range too. So that's why they're just not there with the plow trucks yet.
Yeah, if you wanted to pick a use that would be the most difficult for electric, it's probably.
Yes, exactly. It's the cold, the mass of the truck, the force of the snow. It's all
Yeah, yeah.
And to the point before, they can be out there for 8 or 10 hours, and there's a world of difference between being able to do a 5-minute, refuel versus, charging that kind of capacity of batteries. So it's something we're definitely looking towards though.
Great discussion. Thanks. Interesting.
Mr. Peter withdrew his hand.
Yeah, I was just going to agree with Mr. Tunney because we've looked at it for the parking authority. It's the same thing. When we have to switch out very quickly and reuse the same vehicles, there's no downtime to charge. So it'd be probably an enlargement of the fleet by at least a third. And I can imagine it's worse with plowing.
That kind of corner case there. Mr. O'Brien.
Make a motion to move this, please.
Mr.
Second.
O'Brien moves, second by Mr. Peter. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no, and that carries. This is your, I think, last item, Commissioner, number 5, the determination that the removal and replacement of metal storage structure at the Department of Public Works, Rensselaerville subdivision will not have a significant effect on the environment. I can already hear Mr. Reinhardt raising his hand.
What? No.
This is a procedural thing. We would like to replace an existing outbuilding at our Rensselaerville subdivision that is past its useful life and actually too small to house any of our equipment that needs to be housed. And so this new structure is going to be located on previously disturbed land. And it's, as such, it's meeting the seeker requirements for an unlisted action. So a short environmental assessment form was filled out, and the action was determined not to have a significant impact on the environment. And so to complete the seeker process, the legislature must adopt the determination of significance. Just as an aside, we're proposing to put up a 60 by 60 foot metal building that will be able to house some of our heavy equipment, and as well as some of our smaller equipment. And this structure will be paid for with CHIPS money.
I will make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Bergdorf, seconded by Mr. O'Brien. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed say no. All right, that carries. Thank you, Commissioner. Now on to Mr. Belber. At number 6, authorizing a lease agreement with Trustco Bank for Suite 11 at the MVP Arena.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, thank you. This is a long-term tenant of the MVP Arena in a suite. Same goes for the next one as well, with Kleinbaum, Chicago Title, Northeast Insurance Agency. These are 2 renewals, same $51,000 per year for 3 years. And happy to say that we are at 100% for our suite renewals.
Outstanding. Mr. Cleary, and then we'll go Mr. O'Brien, Mr. Peter. Mr. Cleary, you're on mute.
I make a motion that we combine these two.
Second.
Second the motion.
It
All
actually
those in
won't
favor?
save you, it actually won't save you any time to
Yeah, because
group.
it's 2 things to motion. Yeah.
You need at least 3 items to
I
save
do have a
time.
motion on this though, so and it has a second, so it does need a vote. The die is cast. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed say no. They are now combined. All right, Mr. Peter.
Yeah, just want to congratulate you, Bob and your team in getting everything back up and running. We're seeing a lot of really cool events downtown. And with that, I see the terms, they seem reasonable and consecutive. So I'd make a motion if there's no questions from any of my colleagues on these now combined and much easier to vote on, thanks to you, Mickey. Sets of things.
I'll remember next time.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Bergdorf.
I'm not suggesting that we have this discussion now, but and I'm willing to second this motion. But maybe Bob could, at one of the future meetings, talk to us a little bit about what we read about with the Bruce Springsteen and the dynamic pricing and the cost of 11% of the tickets and that sort of thing, and whether or not the county shares in any of that revenue, or whether it's so new, or is the industry moving in that direction. I don't want to belabor that at a meeting now, but I just ask that you give that some thought and maybe give us a few thoughts in the future if other people are interested as well.
Yeah,
Sure.
absolutely.
Yeah, I'd be happy to do that for you whenever you are ready to hear it.
I believe there's a motion on the floor.
I had
Motion
seconded.
for the combined 6 and 7 together, seconded by Mr. Bergdorf. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed say no. Thank you, Mr. Belber. And that concludes our agenda for today. If there's no other business, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion adjourned.
Second.
Peter, second by Brian. All those in favor say aye. All right,
Aye.
and that's all she wrote.